You don't recognize the Boeing that has airplanes falling out of the sky, that has had 2 Maxes crash, that has had pieces of doors fall out of the sky, that have had whistleblowers come before. They've sat right where you have sat and told us. These are your employees who have told us that when these are the engineers, by the way. Are you an engineer?
I'm not, sir.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And they have said that they're not listened to, that they're retaliated against, that they're threatened. That's the reality of Boeing today. That's your company that you have created. Now, I don't recognize it either from the company it used to be decades ago, but under your leadership, that's what Boeing is, and you're being rewarded for it handsomely. Handsomely. Don't you think there's something wrong with that?
Watch Senator Josh Hawley systematically dismantle Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun in what may be the most brutal congressional hearing of the decade. This is 11 minutes of pure accountability as a $33 million executive is forced to answer for deaths, cover-ups, and corporate corruption that has destroyed one of America's greatest companies. Dave Calhoun walked into this Senate hearing as Boeing's CEO. He walked out exposed, humiliated, and facing calls for his immediate resignation. Senator Hawley came prepared with devastating facts, falsified inspection records, criminal investigations, whistleblowers threatened and silenced, safety protocols ignored, and a 45% pay raise while planes literally fell apart in midair. Behind Calhoun, during this hearing sat the families of Boeing crash victims, holding photographs of their loved ones. While he defended his record and his massive compensation, they represented the true cost of his leadership. 346 people dead in the 737 MAX crashes, passengers experiencing terror at 16,000 feet when door plugs failed, and engineers silenced for trying to prevent the next disaster. Let's dive into the main video.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Calhoun, what is it that you get paid currently?
Senator, that's well disclosed in our proxy documents in each of the years that I've been employed.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's a big number, sir.
Well, let me help you out. It's $32.8 million this year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
That's a 45% increase over last year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
What is it you get paid to do exactly?
I get paid to run the Boeing company.
Yeah. So just help me understand that. I mean, do you get paid for transparency? Is that one of the metrics for your income?
I think the board counts on me for transparency.
Really? Because you're under investigation for falsifying 787 inspection records. The Boeing's under criminal investigation for the Alaska Airlines flight. You were investigated by DOJ for criminal conspiracy to defraud the FAA. This is all in your tenure. This doesn't sound like a lot of transparency to me. What about safety? Is that a component of your salary?
It sure is, Senator.
You know, have you seen the reports that the subcontractor that you used to make that door piece that fell out of the sky, that when the FAA went and toured the facility, they found one door seal being lubricated with Dawn liquid dish soap and cleaned with a wet cheesecloth, and another was being checked with a hotel room key card. Does that sound like safety to you?
Senator, I think our relationship with that particular supplier has been well documented, reviewed by the FAA and most certainly us, and I'm very intent on acquiring that company so that none of that ever happens.
You know, the FAA also says that Boeing still has not implemented the recommended steps back from 2019 and 2020 after the MAX crashes. You still have not taken the appropriate safety procedures or implemented what they recommended. I mean, how, if safety is a component of your $33 million compensation package, I mean, how can you possibly qualify for any of this? What about quality? Is quality part of your compensation package?
Senator, I meet with the FAA pretty regularly. They don't hold anything back, and I'm not aware of anything that has been cited with respect to those accidents that we haven't taken action on.
Really? Because we've had whistleblowers. You said you'd listen to whistleblower testimony. We've had multiple whistleblowers come before this committee and allege that Boeing is cutting every possible corner on quality and safety, not just in the past, but now. They've alleged that you've eliminated safety inspections, that there are fewer in quality and there are fewer inspectors doing quality inspections out there. They've alleged that when they raised quality issues and concerns, they were reassigned, they were retaliated against, they were physically threatened. That doesn't sound like attention to quality to me. And yet you're getting paid $33 million a year. It's extraordinary.
Senator, we have increased our quality inspectors significantly.
How much has your stock price increased while you've been at Boeing?
It hasn't, and I don't watch it much.
Have you done any stock buybacks while you've been at Boeing?
Not in my job, no.
How about your profits? Have your profits increased at all while
I
you've
haven't had any profits, sir.
I'm sorry?
I have not had any profits.
Yeah. You know, I think the truth is, Mr. Calhoun, you're not focused on safety, you're not focused on quality, you're not focused on transparency. All of this is in the record, but I think actually you're focused on exactly what you were hired to do, which is that you're cutting corners, you are eliminating safety procedures, you are sticking it to your employees, you are cutting back jobs because you're trying to squeeze every piece of profit you can out of this country. This company. You're strip mining it. You're strip mining Boeing. It was one of the greatest American companies ever. It has employed thousands of people in my state. And you are strip mining it for profit, shareholder value, and you're being rewarded for it. You got a huge raise, a huge increase. So it's working out great for you. For the American people, they're in danger. For your workers, they're in peril. For your whistleblowers, they literally fear for their lives, but you're getting compensated like never before. Don't you think maybe your priorities are misplaced here? I mean, don't you think maybe it's time to get back to focusing on making quality planes and paying your workers well and taking care of the little guys who got you to where you are? That's not a rhetorical question.
Senator, I don't recognize any of the Boeing you described.
Really?
And I want to assure...
You don't recognize the Boeing that has airplanes falling out of the sky, that has had 2 Maxes crash, that has had pieces of doors fall out of the sky, that have had whistleblowers come before they've sat right where you have sat and told us, these are your employees who have told us that when these are the engineers, by the way. Are you an engineer?
I'm not, sir.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And they have said that they're not listened to, that they're retaliated against, that they're threatened. That's the reality of Boeing today. That's your company that you have created. Now, I don't recognize it either from the company it used to be decades ago, but under your leadership, that's what Boeing is, and you're being rewarded for it handsomely, handsomely. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? Why haven't you resigned?
Yeah, Senator, I stand by what I said, and I want to assure the great employees in your state that that is not the way we operate the company, and it never will be. And if you would like my chief engineer to talk about what he sees in
No, I want to hear from you, because what I hear from you is a lot of this team does that and that team does that, and I listen to the whistleblowers, but I don't meet with them. And I've heard about all this stuff that you Congress have meddlesomely asked for because the public wants to see it, gosh darn them, but you actually haven't supervised any of it. I've heard that. It's a lot of it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. But meanwhile, you're getting paid a heck of a lot of money. It's unbelievable. If anybody's coming out of this deal good, it's you. Why haven't you resigned?
Senator, I'm sticking this through. I'm proud of having taken the job. I'm proud of our
this
safety record, and I am
You're proud of
very
this safety
proud
record.
of our Boeing people.
You're proud of this safety record.
I am proud of every action we have taken.
Every action you've taken?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Wow. There's some news for you. Well, behind you can't see it. Behind you, the folks are showing pictures of the people who are the victims of your safety record. I think we can all see them. And I think the American public, when they fear to get on their airplanes, they understand your safety record. And frankly, sir, I think it's a travesty that you're still in your job.
Senator Josh Hawley's performance in this hearing wasn't just impressive, it was a masterclass in how elected officials should hold corporate power accountable. In an era where politicians often bow to big business, accept corporate donations, and offer softball questions, Hawley stood as a beacon of what real representation looks like. He came prepared, armed with specific numbers, damning facts, and uncomfortable truths that Calhoun couldn't spin away. What made Hawley's approach so effective was his refusal to accept corporate doublespeak. When Calhoun tried to deflect the issue of proxy statements, Hawley had the exact compensation figure ready. When the CEO claimed transparency, Hawley listed multiple criminal investigations. When Calhoun spoke about safety commitments, Hawley revealed unimplemented FAA recommendations from crashes that killed hundreds. This wasn't grandstanding. This was precision accountability. Hawley spoke for the voiceless. He represented the families holding photographs behind Calhoun, people who lost loved ones because Boeing prioritized profit over safety. He amplified the whistleblowers who risked their careers and lives to tell the truth, only to face retaliation. He stood up for Boeing's workers in Missouri and across America who've watched their company's proud legacy crumble under leadership that values stock prices over craftsmanship. The senator's strip mining accusation cut to the heart of what's wrong with modern corporate America. Boeing wasn't just failing, it was being deliberately hollowed out. Safety inspectors were reduced, quality protocols eliminated, and engineers silenced, all while executives collected tens of millions. Hawley identified this pattern and named it for what it was: the systematic destruction of an American icon for short-term profit. His final question, "Why haven't you resigned?" was the one every American was thinking. It wasn't rhetorical or performative. It demanded an answer that Calhoun couldn't provide. When the CEO claimed pride in Boeing's safety record while sitting in front of victims' families, Hawley's response was perfect. Wow. Sometimes the most powerful statement is simply highlighting the absurdity of what you're hearing. This hearing proved that one determined senator, armed with facts and genuine concern for his constituents, can still make a difference. Hawley didn't just question a CEO, he created a permanent record of Boeing's failures and Calhoun's inadequacy. He demonstrated that accountability is still possible, that truth still matters, and that some politicians haven't forgotten who they actually work for: the American people, not corporate executives.